What up? What's good, people? What is up? What is They went from the fourth level of hell and sent us down to the seventh level of hell. Why? Because then you got Kwanzaa pulling out her titties. The whore pulled out her titties. And these whore bags over here started feeling and fondling on her tits. What?
I don't have it to do with you. Girl, you can go over there, rant and rave. Girl, you can shake all your rainbow bright hair all you want, dear one. I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I'm not doing this with you, dear one. I don't have nothing to do with you, and I'm done. Baby, you can scream my name from the rooftops from now till Jesus come back. I'm done after this.
Introduced to Tick's Meat. Do you see what I see? Did y'all really let, hello, casting, wardrobe, y'all let him roll up out of wardrobe with these fans on, giving us all of this, thinking we were not going to see it? We have been waiting with bated breath and anticipating all season long for the slightest glimpse, and y'all just put it out there this episode in all of its magnificent glory.
Listen, that young man said, baby, you ate on this first date, you giving up the cooch on the first date, okay? Or you gonna run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? Run me my cooch or run me my coins? That's our new theme song. That is the new song. Listen, somebody need to put a beat to that. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. Run me my cooch or run me my coins. That's what y'all got going on.
Called out Sandcastle. Sand, bitch. Ow. Oh my God, it was so funny, girl. Woo, baby, listen, let me tell you something. This shit started to turn into the precursor for some gay porn. That's what I thought it was. Because Big T is getting all, the voice starting to go deeper and get a little more wet and moist and sentimental and all this shit. And it was real gay at this point. Like, I thought the bitches was going to start. I thought Lil Bird was going to turn Big T around and do him like he did Uncle Cliff and do the grease it up with City Lou and ran right in there. It's not a coincidence that Big T started off the conversation by trying to find out if Lil Bird was fucking Mercedes, which he found out he's not. It's also not a coincidence that he would start talking about prison. Why? Because the bitches was probably fucking in prison. Uncle Clifford, you better go get your man. Big T got plans for that. What he had on looked like something Big Bird vomited up or something like that. Like, I did not like it. That Big Bird couture he was going for, it did not work. Like the pastor of a gay mega church on Easter Sunday. Okay, it was way too much sequins. He had on way too much makeup. Baby, his face looked like Iyanla Vanzant's neckline. Okay, just way too much makeup clumped in everywhere on his face. Get it together, sweetheart. Like, you're a big girl, so that gives you a whole lot of canvas. So that was a whole lot of makeup, honey. And Rico looked like he was auditioning to be one of the three kings, or he was auditioning to be the main character on Jesus Christ Superstar. Girl, Wayne, did you have on a blue thong or a blue G-string or something? If you did, I want to see Cassie. Hit me up in my DMs because I do want to see if you have a blue thong or a blue, jock strap or something like that. I'd love to see it too. Anyway, but I liked it with the turtleneck. Now, Troy.
Oh, it's time, huh? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm rushing and all of that good stuff. I apologize. We here. We're ready. We live. We're here. Chicken, get your chicken here. Chicken, get your chicken here. I'm trying to get this together back here. Okay. Okay, there we go. There we go. Okay, that feels better. Oh, feels much better. Wait, let's pull this side back. All right, that's how we go. Okay, boom. Beautiful. All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to Run Your Mouth. I am L Teddy 27, where we come and bring you the news of the day, the latest story, the breaking headlines, and all that stuff. Ty is all right. I can tell you Ty is all right. Ty be over there doing his damn thing with his drag and stuff like that. Ty don't be having time, honey. Ty always got a show to do, honey. I looked in there. I forgot I bought 2 cans, so I had another can of the white peach Red Bull. So we'll drink this second can I had that I bought yesterday. I know we're a little bit late today, but we had Teacher Project 2.0 that went a little bit over, and I had to get myself together, use the bathroom, all of that good stuff. And we are here. We are here. We got some things to talk about. What's so funny is today, it seems like today we have more stories outside of the dossier Then we have inside of the not outside of Dossie, outside of the sugar spike segment. Then we have inside the sugar spike segment. Although that don't mean I won't be over here screaming from the rooftops, and that don't mean it's going to shorten the sugar spike segment. That just means that there are less topics for me to lose my mind about and more time for me to spend on them. However, we are here. Let me say hello to y'all, and then we can go ahead and get this party started. Cause that's what we do over here. Okay. Yeah. Cure. Where am I at? Right here. All right, let me say hey to y'all. Janae, what's going on, my love? Hey, beautiful. How are you? Glad to have you. Hey, Terrence. Y'all finally made it to the house in one piece. I'm glad. I'm glad y'all made it. Y'all probably over there wrestling already. I'm glad. I mean, are y'all gonna take a break from wrestling to come over here and see us, Terrence? Huh? Harold. 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 Hey, hey. Hey, hey. What is this stuff people be sending me? God help us, Lord. Hey, Universal Goddess, what's going on, beautiful? How are you? Hey, DPG in the building. Hey, Catherine Powell, how are you? Ravine, what is going on? Look at her. I don't get to go use the bathroom and get myself situated, Ravine. You know we got off of teacher project late, or were you not there for teacher project? You telling on yourself. Hey, Tracy W. How you doing? Cha. Little baby, we was over there talking about the FAMU situation with that heifer, Marva Johnson. We was over there talking about that heifer. Child. Hey, crazy homebody girl. Hey, Tanya Boo. What's going on? Lock Queen, what is up? Hey, Katrina. Right, hit the like button. Hit the damn like button. You fighting traffic? You should have told me you was in my neck of the woods, girl. We could have went and had some lunch or something. We could have went and got something to eat for lunch or something. Gear. Hey, Tracy C. Hey, Tamara. Hey, Xavier. Brittany Janae, how are you today? Montrez, what's good, bruh? Tarshell, how are you? Candace F, what is up? Tarshell, my favorite is the grapefruit now, too. Now, you know, watermelon has always been my go-to, but when that grapefruit came out, that grapefruit took over the top spot for me. But yeah, I can't seem to find the grapefruit no more. I don't know where they at. They discontinued it or something. Hey, Savon, what's going on, sweetheart? Uncle Jay, how are you today? Let me know how that goes, little baby. Let me know how that goes. Hey, MVN, how are you today, boo? And thank you. You sent me a Cash App the other day, and I wanted to publicly say thank you, MVN. MVN is one of my longtime day ones that always support the platform, whether or not she's in the live, in the clouds, whatever. She always supports the platform. So I want to publicly say thank you to MVN. Even when she was all the way over in Africa, she would be over here supporting the platform. And we're eternally grateful for her. Well, since we already late, let's go ahead and get this party started. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binary, gender-conforming members of our audience, I bring to you the late, great Larry Myers to help us usher in our Sugar Spike segment.
You see, this is the part that I like.
Major sugar spike.
So long, well, I want to fight. Daddy gave, he gave his only begotten son.
Major sugar spike.
And shall ever believe.
Major sugar spike.
They shall not perish, but have everlasting life.
Taste the biscuit.
Jesus. Thank you, Larry. Hey, Aquarius goddess. So, we reported, if it wasn't yesterday, it might have been Sunday on the, I'm sorry, if it wasn't yesterday, it was Monday. We reported on the, untimely arrest of, hey, Morgan, of Ras Baraka, mayor of Newark, New Jersey, at that ICE facility, right? I told you that there were 3 Democratic House members that were there as well. That would be on your far right, Representative Bonnie Watson Coleman. In the middle, you have Representative LaMonica McIver. And then on the left, you have Representative Robert Menendez, right? So they were there with Ras Baraka when they were trying to gain admittance into that ICE facility in New Jersey, in Newark, New Jersey. Well, there's fallout. Here we are. Here the fuck we are. Let me read this to you. Representative Earl Buddy Carter, Republican of the great state of Georgia, introduced a Tuesday resolution seeking to remove several Democrats from their committee posts regarding an incident at an ICE facility. Democratic New Jersey Representatives Bonnie Watson Coleman, Robert Menendez, and LaMonica McIver were named in the bill for visiting the Delaney Hall Detention Center after the Trump administration said the lawmakers stormed the building. Representative Carter's resolution would remove Watson Coleman from the House Committee on Appropriations, Representative McIver from the House Committees on Homeland Security and Small Business, and Representative Menendez from the House Committee on Energy and Commerce. Quote, this behavior constitutes an assault on our brave ICE agents and undermines the rule of law. Excuse me. The 3 members involved in this stunt do not deserve to sit on committees alongside serious lawmakers. End of quote. And that's what Representative Buddy Carter said in a statement. He was not present during the incident. Video footage from the day shows the commotion. A commotion and ICE agents entangled with members of Congress and their staff. Representative Watson Coleman said the scuffle happened after the 3 peacefully entered the building alongside escorts. The New Jersey lawmaker has denied statements alleging the lawmakers entered the building illegally. She said members of Congress are permitted to conduct legal oversight at facilities without prior knowledge, and she has done so twice this year already. Quote, the idea we stormed a heavily guarded federal detention center is absurd. Just more lies from the most dishonest administration in history. End of quote. And that's what Representative Watson Coleman, that's what she said on her, Bonnie Watson Coleman said on her Twitter account. Newark Mayor Ras Baraka, as we know, was arrested for trespassing, and the Department of Homeland Security spokesperson said that the Democratic representatives could be arrested for their visit as well. Quote, and this is a quote coming from Congressional Black Caucus Chair Representative Yvette Coleman of New York. She said in her statement, quote, today's incident at the Delaney Hall Detention Center in Newark that led to the arrest of Mayor Ras Baraka and the manhandling, assault, and mistreatment of Representatives Bonnie Watson Coleman, LaMonica McIver, and Rob Menendez by federal immigration agents raises serious concerns about the Trump administration's lack of transparency and treatment of individuals being held in immigrant detention facilities. End of quote. Oh, it gets better. Oh, we're not done yet. It gets better. There's more. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem yesterday accused these three Democratic lawmakers from New Jersey of committing felonies while visiting an immigration and customs enforcement facility in New Jersey. She accused them of committing felonies. Representatives Bonnie Watson Coleman, Robert Menendez, and LaMonica McIver were present at the Delaney Detention Center Friday, where a scuffle with law enforcement ensued and Newark Mayor Ross Baraka was arrested. Quote, "This was an oversight. This was committing felonies. This was going out and attacking people who stand up for the rule of law, and it was absolutely horrible." End of quote. And that's what Kristi Noem said on her on a appearance at Fox News. She wasn't even present for the incident, which happened on Friday. Democrats have accused the administration of lying about what happened. Representative Watson Coleman posted a video of the group of lawmakers entering the building with escorts while a crowd of people waited outside the gates. Quote, "We will be your eyes and ears, and we will report back to you, Mayor." And the quote, Representative Watson Coleman told Mayor Baraka, who waited outside the gate. The New Jersey lawmaker said upon leaving that ICE agents have, quote, shoved, end of quote, have shoved her and others. This is where we are. This is where we are, people. We are at the point where people doing their jobs will end up being vilified and possibly arrested for doing their job. Now, we know good and well, Congresswoman Watson Coleman, Bonnie Watson Coleman is absolutely correct. They don't have to give you prior knowledge that they're coming in the facility because Congress has oversight of all agencies. Like she said, she had already been to the facility twice already this year without prior knowledge. Ross Baraka was literally outside the gate of the facility. He didn't go inside the facility with them. He was outside the gate and he got arrested. And so now you have the Department of Homeland Security secretary accusing these people of felonies. You have a sitting member of Congress saying that Democratic members should be removed from committees for doing their job. Now, what we want is blind obedience. We want nobody to give any pushback. We want no one to say anything that goes contrary to their political ideations and beliefs. And if you do, you are deemed a criminal. This is where we are. Here we are. Here we are. I don't know what y'all want from me. I just report the stories. But here we are. These people, I'm telling you, these people are not going to stop until they have full, unbridled, unfettered control of every aspect of life. We are already we're already in the first stages of the authoritarian dictatorship. We're already here. We are already here. And there's no opposition. There's nobody to oppose these people. There's no one in the way of allowing these people to do whatever they want to do. Here we are. Here the fuck we are. And what are we going to do about it at this point? Because the people who are in charge with monitoring these situations, giving oversight, making sure that things are done legally and just, they're being told that because they're going to provide that oversight, that is illegal and that they're committing felonies. Here we are. Oh, it doesn't end there. Now, we talked about the story of Judge Karen McDougan. Karen McDougan. God, I'm just giving this woman a name. Of Judge Hannah Dugan. Dear God, I just gave this woman a name. Lord, I don't even know where Karen McDougan came from. I literally just gave this woman a name. The woman's name is Hannah Dugan, okay? Now, a federal grand jury has indicted Milwaukee County Circuit Judge Hannah Dugan on charges of obstruction and concealing an individual to prevent arrest. Prosecutors allege that on April 18th, Judge Dugan helped Eduardo Flores Ruiz, a man facing deportation, avoid arrest by directing him and his attorney to exit through a non-public jury door at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. Let me tell you again what's going on here. Let me read again exactly what she's accused of. Prosecutors allege that on April 18th, Judge Dugan helped Eduardo Flores Ruiz and a man facing deportation avoid arrest by directing him and his attorney to exit through a non-public jury door at the Milwaukee County Courthouse. So she said, hey, it's not my job to aid and abet in whatever's going on. If y'all want, y'all can take the door over there instead of taking that door back there. Just go ahead and take that door over there if you so choose. And now she's been arrested and indicted. Federal agents later apprehended Mr. Flores Ruiz following a foot chase outside the building. The indictment accused Judge Dugan of misleading federal agents by claiming they needed a judicial warrant rather than an administrative one to take Flores Ruiz into custody. Judge Dugan allegedly expedited Flores Ruiz's case off the record and directed him to leave through a restricted exit while most agents diverted to the chief judge's office. The indictment issued yesterday by a federal grand jury in Wisconsin charged Judge Dugan with two federal offenses: obstructing or impeding a proceeding before a U.S. agency and concealing an individual to prevent arrest. These charges carry a combined maximum penalty of 6 years in prison and up to $350,000 in fines. Please be clear. You will see this woman do 6 years without possibility of parole and get the maximum fines of $350,000. I can promise you that. They are going to make an example of this woman. Although federal sentencing in violent offenses typically results in shorter prison terms, The legal proceedings remain active. Judge Dugan will enter her plea in U.S. District Court on May 15th. That's tomorrow. According to court documents, federal agents from ICE arrived at the courthouse on April 18th to arrest Mr. Flores Ruiz, who had returned to the United States illegally after his deportation in 2013. He was scheduled to appear in court that day on misdemeanor domestic abuse charges. The complaint alleges that Judge Dugan's court clerk, was alerted to the ICE agents' presence for Mr. Flores Ruiz's attorneys, who have photographed members of the arrest team and notified court staff. Judge Dugan then confronted the agents, challenged the validity of their warrant, and directed them to the office of the county's chief judge. While the agents were away, Judge Dugan allegedly cleared Mr. Flores Ruiz's hearing and told his attorney he could attend future proceedings via Zoom. The pair exited through a secure door, typically used only by staff, jurors, and in-custody defendants. However, one federal agent remained nearby and followed them out. Authorities arrested Mr. Flores Ruiz shortly after on a nearby street corner. Here we are. I don't know what else y'all want from me. Y'all, I just report what's going on. Hate symmetry. Basically, Universal got it. She basically told them, listen, y'all trying to arrest this man. Y'all don't have the proper warrants to arrest him. Y'all need to go see the chief judge because y'all don't even have the proper warrants to arrest him with. Meaning that the arrest, in her estimation, because she is a judge that gets to adjudicate these things, was unlawful. And so she said, listen, y'all don't have the proper warrant. This is an unlawful arrest. If y'all got an issue, go see the chief judge. Meanwhile, I'm going to continue with my case. She continued with her case. She told them y'all could come back and do this via Zoom. If y'all want, y'all could go out that door over there. Last time I checked, judges are allowed to do that. Because let's be clear, if it were the other way around, right? If this were a conservative leaning judge that were adjudicating on something of merit with regard to one of your people, and they allowed them the same grace, y'all wouldn't have a problem. Here we are. Because what they're going to do now is you're setting precedent for them to now just nilly-willy arrest judges because for the slightest indiscretions, or not even indiscretions, for doing things that in their estimations goes against what they want. We already know this administration has an all-out assault on the judiciary because in their estimation, the judiciary is the only thing stopping them from turning us into an authoritarian dictatorship. Here we are. Hey, lovely 31 Blueprint. Well, for those people who frequent the hub, XNXX, RedTube, xvideos.com, all of those other, websites that you people frequent. Well, a new bill introduced by Utah Senator Mike Lee, a Republican, would create a federal ban on pornography by redefining what qualifies as obscene under law. The legislation, called the Interstate Obscenity Definition Act, seeks to modernize the standard of prosecuting explicit content online, replacing a decades-old test established by the Supreme Court. If passed, IODA would dramatically change how sexual content is treated under federal law, especially in online spaces. The bill proposes stripping the intent requirement of the current Communications Act of 1934, meaning individuals could face prosecution for sharing or hosting content deemed to be sexually explicit and lacking, quote, serious literary, artistic, political, or scientific value, end of quote. The bill introduced on Thursday is co sponsored by Illinois Representative Mary Miller, another Republican, and represents the third attempt by Representative Mike Lee to pass such legislation since 2022. The legislation would revise the obscenity standard that authorities have used since the Supreme Court's 1973 Miller versus California decision, which critics say is outdated and difficult to enforce, especially in the digital age. The Miller test, named after the 1973 decision, currently includes three criteria: whether the average person would find the work appeals to prurient interest, whether it depicts sexual conduct in an offensive way, and whether it lacks value. In place of that test, the new bill's definition of obscenity would now include any content that, quote, appeals to the prurient interest in nudity, sex, or excretion, and depicts, describes, or represents actual or simulated sexual acts with the objective of intent to arouse, end of quote. If passed, the bill would pave the way for the prosecution of obscene content disseminated across state lines or from foreign countries and open the door to federal restrictions or bans regarding online pornography. It would broaden what kinds of explicit content may be considered a federal crime, potentially criminalizing large amounts of adult content, including consensual expressions of sexuality. Now, Congress will consider the legislation this month. We'll see how that goes. I got stuff on my hard drives and in the clouds, so I ain't got nothing to worry about. All my good stuff is in the clouds, or I got a hard drive with all my good stuff on there. Harold, this is what we're focused on. I don't have nothing to worry about, because y'all not going to keep me from my shit. That's what y'all not going to do. Moving on. So, and I've been meaning to cover this, and I just, between me being out of town and having a lot going on, I haven't been able to do the justice to this like I was supposed to, but we're here now. So put a 27 in the chat if you live in Tennessee, if you live in the great state of Tennessee, or even if you live near the city of Memphis. Maybe you live over in Arkansas, near put a 27 in the chat. Just want to see if anybody is in that area, or even if you have family or loved ones in that area. Okay, Symmetry, you over there near Memphis? Okay. Look at crazy whole body girl. Let me go get my shit tonight. Yeah, y'all go get y'all shit. The good shit now. You don't have to save everything, but the good ones, the ones that really do the job, yeah, go ahead and save them. My thing is, y'all getting rid of the. Why don't y'all get rid of Grinder? How about that? Let's see if you Republicans are willing to get rid of Grinder. I bet you y'all ain't passing the legislation for that. Oh, you in East Tennessee? Okay, that's the other side. All right. Well, here we are. Residents in Tennessee have been left struggling to breathe over Elon Musk's supercomputers as pollution is believed to have caused a surge in asthma. Elon Musk's artificial intelligence company set up shop in South Memphis last year, but the supercomputer's pollution control measures don't meet federal guidance. The area now leads the state in the most emergency room visits for asthma. The company has no Clean Air Act permits, according to Politico, and none of the 35 methane gas turbines that help power XAI's supercomputer are equipped with federally required pollution controls. Now, the surrounding residents lead the state of Tennessee with the most emergency visits for asthma related symptoms. In 2024, Memphis was found to be the asthma capital of the nation by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America. In the short 11 months that Elon Musk's supercomputer has been running in the area, the company as one of has championed as one of Shelby County's largest emitters of nitrogen oxide, according to the outlet. The area was already suffering from unhealthy air quality due to smog, according to the United States Environmental Protection Agency. Elon Musk's plant turbines spew an estimated 1,200 to 2,000 tons of nitrogen oxide, or NOx, further contributing to the smog issue in the area. The estimations, according to the Southern Environmental Law Center, are far higher than that of the gas-fired power plant across the street or the oil refinery nearby. Musk said in February that the turbines were a necessary addition for the third version of the AI chatbot. At the time, he said, quote, "We have generators on one side of the building, just trailer after trailer of generators until we can get the utility power to come back in." Nearby Boxtown, 3 miles from the plant, is facing enough toxic pollution for XAI and 17 industrial facilities to require registration with the EPA's toxic release inventory. With the median household income at $36,000, the population faces not being able to breathe to stay in their homes. Y'all see what's happening here, right? This is similar to what you have going on over in Cancer Alley over in Louisiana. You say it's the thickest one thus far. I bet it is. Let me know if my boy in there, Pierre Rutledge, he's the treasurer of the alumni of the National Alumni Association. Let me know if you see him in there. Anyway, this is just like what we have going on in Cancer Alley. And you notice they only put these types of industrial facilities up that pollute the atmosphere in areas that are most majority black, because Memphis is a majority black city and a majority black area, and they have no problems polluting these areas. Now, this place doesn't even follow the current federal regulations. Mind you, you think it's a coincidence that Elon Musk was in charge of the people that were gutting the EPA? Remember, Elon Musk and his people were gutting the EPA, firing all of the workers whose job it is to put reports out on what's going on over here, to enforce federal regulations and all of that. These people were being wholesalely fired and put out of jobs. Conveniently, people who have oversight on the facilities with for his companies. Now, to add insult to injury, they're already in willful violation of current federal regulations. and nobody in the federal government is saying anything about it, right? But to add insult to injury, remember the Trump administration wants to remove all federal regulations from companies such as this, so they have nobody to say you shouldn't be polluting the air and atmosphere of these cities where people have to live. You heard me say that the average family household, the median house family house income is $36,000. I said that correctly. The median family household income is $36,000. Y'all see what's happening? They do not care about us. They don't. And this targets us, not them, us. And if you think that he's not coming to a black city near you, you're dreaming. You're dreaming. They do not care about us, y'all. They do not care. They do not care. They do not care. And even if and when we try to change the trajectory of the federal government and what they have going on, it's going to be it's going to be in such disarray. It could take years or decades to put the pieces back in place and get us back to trying to be functional. And at that point, the damage will be irreparably done. Moving on. So here we are. Here the fuck we are. In Beechwood, Ohio, the community is rallying together after a man reportedly burned 100 books from the local library and filmed himself doing it. As on Monday, members of an interfaith group against hate, known as IGAH, gathered outside Fairmont Presbyterian Church to stand united against hate. This comes after reports that a man checked out 100 books related to race, religion, and LGBTQ plus topics from the Cuyahoga County Public Library in Beechwood, Ohio, then burned them in a video posted to social media. On April 22nd, the man checked out 50 books from the library related to those topics and posted a photo of a car trunk full of books with a caption relating to, quote, cleansing, end of quote, the libraries. And that's according to Beechwood police. The books in the trunk of the car in the photo appeared to match the topics of books checked out by the man and had Cuyahoga County Public Library stickers on them. The library was tipped off to the photo, and when he returned to pick up 50 more books, he said his son was a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and he was trying to learn more. When a video of the man burning the books surfaced on social media, the library was tipped off again. In the video, the books appeared to match the theme and titles of the books listed above. The video showed one book with a Cuyahoga County Public Library sticker on it and matches one of the specific books checked out by the man. Quote, it was a man's voice and image and foreboding tones describing the need to cleanse the community of the library of the library books that he was setting afire. End of quote. And that's according to senior rabbi at one of the churches in the community. Now, the Cuyahoga County Public Library released a statement saying, quote, Cuyahoga County Public Library is not commenting on this ongoing investigation. However, we have taken steps to protect our staff, customers, and property. This customer has been restricted from all Cuyahoga County Public Library properties and their borrowing privileges have been revoked. We are in the process of replacing the books in question. End of quote. Now, the Beechwood Police Department said that they are investigating the situation. They said, quote, our department stands against anti-Semitism and all acts of bias-motivated crimes. We are committed to vigorously investigating and prosecuting any hate-motivated incidents within the city of Beechwood. Our priority is to maintain a community that can thrive without the fear of threats of intimidation or violence. End of quote. Here's my question, Beechwood Police. I find it really interesting that you made it a point to only talk about you stand against anti-Semitism when you know that there were books about race, there were books about the LGBTQ plus community and other marginalized groups, but you made it a point to say, yeah, we stand against anti-Semitism, as if that's the only thing that you care about. And that's the only form of hate that there is being committed here. Here we are. Here the fuck we are. This is a horrible place. This is a horrible place. Horrible place. I don't know. I ain't listen. In most libraries, you try to check out over more than maybe 5 books. That librarian finna give you that librarian look, that stern look that the librarians have. I'm just saying. Okay. Ciao. Anyway, moving on. I teased this story yesterday saying that I wanted to talk about it. So let's do that today. Now, the man who you see in the picture, that's Palm Beach County Sheriff's Deputy Dustin Sullivan, okay? The the young man in question is a black man. At the time of the incident, he was 17 years old. His name is Timmy Lee Knox, okay? At the time of this incident, Timmy Lee Knox was a 17-year-old black boy. He was on his way to a kid's party when he ended up tasered and paralyzed by a Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputy, and this was back in 2021. The second unarmed black man, he's the second unarmed black man to be paralyzed by Palm Beach County Sheriff's deputies, and that's within a 10-year span. Now, last week, the Palm Beach Post reported that Timmy Knox received a $5.5 million settlement over the incident, which was captured on video from a deputy's taser. But the West Palm Beach law firm that represented Timmy Knox informed news outlets they were not allowed to release the video to the media under the settlement agreement. Timmy Knox agreed to the settlement in July of 2024, but it only became public last week after Palm Beach Post received a copy of the $5.5 million check through a public records request, informing readers that it is not clear if the check represented the entire settlement amount. Now, I just want y'all to know the man that you see here, Palm Beach County Sheriff's Deputy Dustin Sullivan, continues to work as a law enforcement officer. Here's what happened. The incident took place on May 7th, 2021, as Timmy was picked up by a carload of friends to attend a children's birthday party at John Prince Memorial Park. 2 female friends were sitting in the front, and Timmy was sitting in the back seat, while a male friend and 2 minors, with a male friend and 2 other minors. On the way to the park, they spotted an unmarked Palm Beach Sheriff's car making a U-turn to follow them. Fully aware that the deputy was behind them, the driver drove the speed limit as the deputy continued to follow them through various streets. At one point, the driver was so nervous that she pulled into a random residential driveway. That was when Palm Beach Sheriff's Deputy Dustin Sullivan stepped out of the unmarked car and ordered the occupants out of the car. Once outside the car, Palm Beach Sheriff's Deputy Christopher Francis aggressively approaches Timmy with his taser drawn, end of quote. And that's according to the lawsuit. Quote, fearing for his safety, Timmy runs southbound on Aspen Road and hops on a fence with nothing in his hands. With nothing in his hands. With nothing in his hands. He had to jump a fence, and so you can see there's nothing in his hands. Timmy always keeps his hands empty, his empty hands visible throughout the ordeal, end of quote. The two deputies started chasing Timmy on foot, leaving the other occupants unattended. Both deputies radioed to dispatch they are pursuing a person, asking for backup, but at no time did they mention the person they were chasing was armed. Deputy Sullivan has his taser in hand, which turned on a camera on the weapon, allowing the attorneys to describe the incident in the lawsuit. The claim states the video shows Timmy climbing on the roof of a house, quote, where he immediately surrenders and puts both of his empty hands up, end of quote, both of his empty hands up. But Deputy Sullivan fires his taser at Timmy from behind, causing the teen to fall down from the roof. Deputy Sullivan holds the trigger for 5 seconds, torturing Timmy unnecessarily. The teen then attempts to stand up and run away, but Sullivan tasers him again. Quote, as a result, Timmy falls from the roof to the ground in the backyard of the home, landing on his neck, severing his spinal cord and causing a permanent loss of all control of his lower extremities, end of quote. The deputies then run to the back of the home where Timmy lay immobilized, screaming at him to get up. Both deputies scream at Timmy, saying, quote, get up or we will slam you, end of quote. Timmy repeatedly tells the deputies he cannot move, but the deputies followed through on that threat. Quote, the deputies grab Timmy's fragile body and slam him back to the ground, further exacerbating his injuries. Timmy is paralyzed from the neck down, and his injuries are permanent and severe, end of quote. And that's according to the lawsuit. But after tasering, paralyzing, and body slamming him, deputies apparently had nothing to charge him with because there is nothing indicating he was arrested in that time frame listed on Palm Beach County online court records. Nevertheless, Sheriff Bradshaw cleared the two deputies of any wrongdoing, even though the lawsuit states they violated numerous departmental policies. Quote, like all of the other instances of excessive force described above, Sheriff Bradshaw clears his deputy of any wrongdoing shortly after the incident and without having thoroughly investigated the circumstances of Timmy's catastrophic injuries, end of quote. And that's according to the lawsuit. Here we are. Here we are. Mind you, this man still has a job. He is still a part of law enforcement down to the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office. And that will be Sheriff Deputy Dustin Sullivan. That's who you see pictured there. Here we are. And this is in Palm Beach County, Florida, a blue area. He absolutely is trying to give them immunity. A mess. A damn mess. Let me move on before I spike out. As we leave the sugar spike segment and delve deeper into the dossier, somebody sent me an email yesterday asking me if when I do my daily updates, if I could post what I'm reading on screen because it makes it easier to follow if I post it, if I share it on screen. So I told them that I would do that today, that I would share my screen so that you all can see um what I am reading. All right. So let me share my screen. Yeah, somebody told me that yesterday. So I said, okay, I have no problem doing that. Let me that is the sketch recording from today, though. That's the sketch recording from today. If you notice, Cassie don't have on the brown. She has on like black or gray or whatever, blue or whatever color that is. Hold on, let me hold your line. All right, now the source that I use for when I the news source that I use is AP News. I like AP News because AP News makes it a point to try to just give you facts. They try not to give you any opinions. They try to just chronicle some of the main. They don't give you word for word, but they try to give you some of the main things or the major things that happen in the day's testimony. And so that's what I've been using as I've been updating you day to day on this trial. Now, if y'all in the chat say, "El Teddy, we don't need that," you can continue to read it. I won't do it after today. But I'll do it today to appease the person who emailed me. I don't want to put them out there on Front Street. But if y'all tell me, "El Teddy, we don't need that," then tomorrow we won't do this. But we'll do it today. Can y'all, let me ask a question before I go further. Can y'all see it if I put it like this? Or do y'all need it like this? Can y'all see it if I do it like this? Can y'all read that? Let me know in the chat. Can y'all read that if I leave it like this, or do I need to have it full screen? Let me know, please. I feel like I need to have it full screen for you to read it. Can y'all read it like this, I should say? Or do I need to just leave it full screen? Y'all can read it like this? Okay. All right. They say they can read it like this. Let me take a swig. All right. They say they can read it like this so I can stay on camera. All right. All right, here we go. This requires a lot of reading, y'all. So this is from 7:45. If y'all can see, this is from 7:45 a.m. this morning. So I try to go from some of the earliest reports this morning. In the morning, it says Cassie returns to the witness stand Wednesday after a day spent recounting grotesque and humiliating details of life with her ex-boyfriend. During her first day of testimony, Cassie described being pressured into degrading sexual encounters with paid sex workers. She also recounted being beaten numerous times by Combs when she did things that displeased him, like smiling at him the wrong way. Quote, "You make the wrong face, and the next thing I know, I was getting hit in the face." End of quote, she said. Cassie, whose legal name is Cassandra Ventura, accused Combs of gaining her submission by threatening to publicly release videos of her with male sex workers. Combs's attorneys have acknowledged Cassie could be violent, but maintain that the sexual acts were consensual. They say nothing he did amounted to sex trafficking or racketeering, the charges that he faces. Lawyers for Mr. Combs have yet to cross-examine Cassie, a type of questioning that will give them an opportunity to challenge her credibility or poke holes in her account of what happened. Why is that like that? Okay. This is from 751. Cassie sued Combs. I don't think I need to see this part. I just want to because we already know that. I want to get to the testimony. All right. They detailed a closer look at the juries. A jury of 12 New Yorkers plus a half dozen alternates is hearing testimony at the trial. The group tilts male, middle-aged, or older. Only 3 jurors are under 40. 5 are over 60. Classical music listeners outnumber people who identified as hip-hop fans. Their identities are known to the judge and lawyers, but won't be made public. The jurors revealed a little about themselves as they were selected for the trial. 8 men. One is an investment analyst, age 31. One's a social worker, age 39. One is a communications clerk at a prison system facility, age 41. One is a scientist, age 51. One is a retired worker in finance at age 68. One is a retired telecommunications company field technician at 68. One is a logistics analyst for a bank at 67. And one is a massage therapist and actor, aged 69. There are 4 women. One is a deli clerk, aged 30, a nursing home dietary aide at 42, a physician assistant, 43, and a former treatment coordinator at a charity for blind people, aged 74. That's the jury. All right, here we go. Cassie testifies about violence and abuse. That's at 8:25. Cassie, okay, I think this is rehashing out what happened yesterday, but I'm gonna read it anyway. Cassie told jurors she was sexually quote sexually inexperienced, end of quote, when she met Combs, and that he introduced her to various sex acts before asking her to engage in her first freak off when she was barely 22. Cassie said she was confused, quote, confused, nervous, but also loved him very much, end of quote, and wanted to make him happy, end of quote. Cassie, now 38, said her relationship with Combs ran the gamut from good times to arguments and physical altercations. She said the abuse happened too frequently, end of quote, and sometimes came after the smallest perceived slights. Cassie said Combs ordered her to recruit male sex workers for freak-offs, that he would pay them thousands of dollars to have sex with her. The encounters, fueled by ecstasy and other drugs, will go on for 36 or 48 hours, and she said the longest lasted 4 days. They took place in private, often in dark hotel rooms, unlike Combs' very public white parties in the Hamptons that attracted A-list celebrities. I don't need to read that. The Combs connection. I don't need to read this. No. Cassie felt she couldn't refuse Combs' demands. We know that from yesterday. This is all reenacted what happened yesterday. All right. A prosecutor's change in tone. Prosecutor Emily Johnson, who delivered an opening statement Monday, has softened her tone considerably in questioning the government star witness Cassie about the 10 years she spent with Combs. While she repeatedly referred to Combs as the defendant in her opening, Johnson, calls him, quote, Sean, end of quote, as she delicately questions Cassie, who's in the 3rd trimester of pregnancy with her 3rd child. All right, freak offs have become a job. During her testimony Tuesday, we talked about that. No need to rehash that. Yeah, we that's more recap from yesterday. All right. Cassie has returned to the witness stand. Testimony resumed shortly before 10 a.m. on Wednesday at Combs' sex trafficking trial, with Cassie answering questions posed by prosecutor Emily Johnson for a second day. Cassie was in a relationship with Combs for a decade. Johnson picked up where she left off Tuesday, asking Cassie about video images of Combs beating her at a Los Angeles hotel in 2016. I just remember it coming towards me. I remember it hitting a wall. End of quote. Earlier in the trial, a hotel security guard said he saw the damage when he arrived upstairs and told Combs he would have to pay for it. Cassie said she left the hotel in an Uber and went to her apartment, which was nearby. She said she took the selfies on her Uber ride, away from the Los Angeles hotel. She said she wore sunglasses because she had a black eye. Once home, she said a friend of hers saw her injuries and was, quote, super upset, end quote, because she, quote, seen me with black eyes and busted lip before, end of quote. Cassie said her friend called police, but she declined to reveal who had injured her once police arrived, so they left. Quote, in that moment, I didn't want to hurt him that way. I wasn't ready, end of quote, she testified. She said she said he claimed police were about to arrest him, and when she refused to accept his phone calls, Combs told her that if she didn't pick up the phone, she'd, quote, never hear my voice again. End of quote, Cassie said. Jurors were then shown pictures of Cassie and Combs at a movie premiere soon after the March 16th hotel attack. Cassie described bruises on her body that were visible in the photographs and said she was unable to cover up all the damage with makeup. She wore dark sunglasses to cover her black eye. And she said it could ruin everything she'd worked for and quote make me look like a slut, end of quote. And that's when she testified that Combs threatened several times to release recordings of freak offs. She says she always worried he'd get mad enough to release them. Quote, I feared for my career, I feared for my family. It's just embarrassing. It's horrible and disgusting. No one should do that to anyone, end of quote, she said. Um, Combs enters the in the courtroom. Combs is in a cream colored knit sweater over a button down white shirt with gray pants. He occasionally dons thick black rimmed glasses when exhibits are shown. He stood and hunched over a laptop with two of his lawyers as his other lawyers conferred with prosecutors and the judge at the bench about logistics for the playing of freak off videos. She said, this is Cassie. It says prosecutors asked Cassie if she ever tried to fight back when Combs picked a fight with her. She says she did try earlier in their relationship, but she learned, quote, it could escalate the fight more, make it worse for myself, end of quote. Cassie is calm and poised for her second day of testimony. Quote, after looking through a binder of photos provided by prosecutors, Cassie identified 13 male sex workers she said she recruited at Combs' behest for freak-offs in Los Angeles, Miami, and Las Vegas, Miami, and Los Angeles. She said she had sex with all of them, though she couldn't remember all of their names. Some she knew only by their first names. Some were flown in for the occasions. On Tuesday, Cassie had identified a half dozen other escorts. One of them, she said, was advertised as the Punisher. I think we got that yesterday. All right. Cassie, Combs would sometimes convince her to go to sex clubs or swinger clubs in Las Vegas or LA. At least once, she said, one of the escorts who participated in freak-offs came along with his girlfriend. She said she had sex with the escort at the sex club. At times, Cassie testified she told Combs it made her uncomfortable to go to sex clubs. Quote, I'm not into seeing the person you're in love with somebody else, end of quote, she said. Cassie said she responded by Cassie said he responded by continuing to push for it, saying it would, quote, be a fun thing to do and we wouldn't go for long, end of quote. Opioids make me feel numb, which is why I relied on them so heavily. Cassie says she would try to recover from freak-offs by taking IV fluids, getting massages, and having a chef cook meals. She says she developed an opioid addiction from using them after freak-offs as a coping mechanism. Quote, opioids make me feel numb, which is why I relied on them so heavily, end of quote. She said she developed urinary tract infections frequently from the sexual experiences. After freak-offs, she said she felt emotionally, quote, just really empty, and I felt just gross, end of quote. She said she also, quote, felt like I did my job, end of quote. After a scuffle, Combs said, quote, you don't know when to stop, in the quote. Cassie testified on one occasion in 2013 while she was packing to go to Drake's music festival in Canada. Cassie said Combs scuffled with her friends and threw her into a bed frame. She said she suffered a quote pretty significant gash above the left eye. Cassie Cassie's security personnel brought her to a plastic surgeon in Beverly Hills to get the wound stitched. Afterwards, she texted Combs a photo of her injured face and wrote, quote, "So you can remember," end of quote. Combs required, quote, "You don't know when to stop. You pushed it too far and continued to push. Sad," end of quote. Cassie's testimony exposes the underbelly of their years-long relationship. Attending the Cannes Film Festival in 2013, Cassie beamed as she posed for photographers, but after getting into a fight with Combs away from the glitz and glamour, she said she didn't have a place to stay. Cassie testified Combs accused her of taking drugs from him and kicked her off of the yacht where they were staying. Cassie said she left the boat without shoes. Her passport and other belongings were also left behind, she said. Cassie said she ended up crashing at a hotel where Combs's employees were staying. On the way back to the U.S., she said Combs threatened to release videos of her having sex during freak-offs. Cassie told jurors she, quote, felt trapped, end of quote, by the hip-hop mogul. In 2016, 2 days after Combs beat and kicked Cassie at a Los Angeles hotel, they were photographed attending the premiere of the film, quote, The Perfect Match, end of quote. Cassie said she used makeup to cover her bruises and sneaked into a popcorn closet at the movie theater to switch dresses for an after party so bruises on her legs wouldn't be visible. The court took a lunch break at that point at one and was coming back at 1:15. Before the break, there was additional testimony about threats to release freak-off videos. After their trip to the Cannes Film Festival in 2013, Combs began playing a recording of a freak-off on his laptop computer as he and Cassie sat together on a commercial flight to New York. Cassie said Combs told her he was, quote, going to embarrass me and release them, end of quote. The prosecutor posing the questions, Emily Johnson, asked if there were, quote, people around you, in the quote, when Combs was playing the videos on the phone. Cassie said there were. After landing in New York, she testified they went to dinner and then had another freak off right afterward. During the break, lawyers for accusers who plan to testify emphasize how nervous their clients are. The lawyers spoke to the judge to ensure they'd continue to be able to communicate to their clients during breaks in the trial, in part to calm their nerves. Judge RYM Subramanian told them they could still talk to their clients, but were disallowed from advising them about things they should or shouldn't say or otherwise affect their testimony. One lawyer said her client who will testify as Jane has had, quote, very serious breakdown moments in preparation for this trial, end of quote. Another lawyer, Michael Ferrara, said his client, who will testify under the name Mia, will tell about the worst things ever to happen to her. Those things, he said, she otherwise would have taken, quote, to her grave, end of quote. He said she will want emotional support during her testimony. Quote, candidly, her nerves are through the roof. I don't know how to support her if we can't discuss the pain she's going to experience from having to tell the world about her worst experience, end of quote, he said. How much longer will Cassie's questioning by prosecutors? Last prosecutor Emily Johnson told the judge she expects to finish her questioning of Cassie before the end of the day, leaving some time for the defense lawyers to begin their cross-examination. Tenny Garagos, a lawyer for Combs, told Judge Arun Subramanian the prosecution's questioning of Cassie had, quote, gone differently than we expected, end of quote. She didn't elaborate except to say the defense will have to adjust their defense strategy as a result. Previously, the defense has indicated it plans to show the sexual interactions were consensual behavior between adults who engaged in the swinger lifestyle. Throughout her testimony, Cassie insisted she never wanted to have sexual experiences with other people, but did it to please the man she loved and out of fear of him. Cassie says she told Combs, quote, "You treat me like Ike." Cassie testified in the morning session that she complained to Combs once about the sexual things he made her do and the abuse that came with it by telling him, quote, "You treat me like Ike," end of quote. The comment was a reference to Ike Turner, who was described in singer Tina Turner's autobiography and a film adapted off of it as an abusive lover. Hold on, let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Just wanted to see what y'all saying in the chat. Okay, we're gonna keep going. Prosecutors won't present videos during Cassie questioning. The prosecutor says videos of Cassie involved in sexual experiences will not be shown during direct examination, but it's unknown whether the defense will show some. The jury is returning for the afternoon session. Prosecutors show 5 still images taken from videos recovered from electronic devices that Cassie provided to investigators. One juror's eyes widened as the first image of Cassie and a male sex worker she identified as Jules appeared on screen in front of him. Another juror shook his head from side to side as the image was shown. As the presentation continued, another male juror pressed his hands and pen against his face, and he studied the images intently. One woman on the panel pursed her lips. Many took notes as Cassie described what was happening in the images. She said they showed her at various stages of the encounter. The images were feeds of images restricted to the jury and the witness box. The images were shown only on monitors in the jury box and witness stand. The feed was cut to the public gallery and overflow rooms because of their sensitive nature. Prosecutors provided binders with printed copies to the judge and defense counsel. At one point, Combs asked his lawyer Mark Agnafilo for the binder. Combs discreetly thumbed through the images, keeping them out of the view of the public in the gallery behind him. After a few moments, Combs closed the book and handed it back to Agnafilo. Prosecutor elicits testimony on notable violent events. A defense complaint that testimony about violence was not specific enough prompted a prosecutor to elicit from Cassie a history of notable events of violence she said she suffered at the hands of Combs. The first she testified came early in their relationship in 2007. Cassie said she was at a dinner with, quote, Sean and friends, end of quote, when she spotted Combs flirting with somebody. She said she shrugged her shoulders when somebody else who saw it looked at her. But then she said Combs attacked her in a car after they left the venue. Quote, "He knocked me around and was just hitting me," end of quote, she said. Cassie testified that she fell to the floor of the car after Combs hit her on the side of the head. Quote, "I was just shocked. I didn't necessarily understand what happened and why he was so angry," end of quote, she said. She said she went home and, quote, hid out after that, end of quote. Cassie testifies she hid extent of violence from loved ones. She said that when she went home for Christmas in 2011 with bruises from an altercation with the hip hop mogul, she lied and told her mother it was the first time that he'd hit her. Quote, "I couldn't hurt her like that. And it was terrifying. It's not normal constantly being bruised up by the person you love who says they love you," end of quote, Cassie testified. Jurors saw photos showing a large dark bruise on Cassie's lower back and other bruises on her shoulder and thigh that she said she sustained in the altercation. Cassie says Combs lunged at her with a corkscrew. Prior to the Christmas trip event, Cassie said Combs had lunged at her with a corkscrew and kicked her in the back when he learned that she had started dating rapper Kid Cudi during a low point in her relationship with Combs. The photos shown to jurors were taken at her family home in Connecticut after she flew cross country from Los Angeles. Cassie testified that she saw Combs bring one of her friends back over the railing of a balcony at her Los Angeles apartment before he, quote, threw her on the patio furniture, end of quote. On another occasion, she said she saw him hit a different friend who she had been close to for 17 years in the head with a hammer. Girl, hold on. Wait, let me finish this. Quote, it just ended our friendship, end of quote, Cassie said. She hasn't spoken to her friend since. Hold on, let me tell y'all something. If my friend took me to a bitch house and that bitch started hitting on me, all bets are off. Baby, if you want to take the abuse and beatings, that's between you, him, and whoever else. But what you not gonna do is start putting your motherfucking hands on me. Oh no, 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 no. I don't blame my friends. Baby, I'm not going over there with you no more. And that man put his hands on me. Oh no, ma'am. Oh no, ma'am. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Let's continue. Blacking out and sleepwalking. Cassie said she was experiencing post-traumatic stress disorder before ending her relationship with Combs in 2018. She said she was blacking out and sleepwalking. Quote, in my mind, my body was telling me I just needed to chill out. In the quote, Cassie testified. Direct examination of Cassie is over. The prosecution concludes direct questioning of Cassie. Cassie describes Combs' assault. Under direct questioning, Cassie told jurors that Combs forced his way into her Los Angeles apartment and raped her in 2018 after she told him she was ending their relationship. Cassie says she had met Combs in Malibu for dinner in hopes of gaining closure after a decade with him. After dinner, she said Combs went to her home and ignored her pleas to leave. Cassie says she saw Combs on a subsequent occasion and had a consensual encounter with him, explaining, quote, we'd been together for over 10 years. You just don't turn feelings off. Like I didn't hate him. End of quote. You know the defense is going to pounce on that. The fact that she said that even though she was trying to end this relationship, she went and had consensual sex with him. I'm sure the defense is going to pounce on that. Court is on a brief break after direct questioning of Cassie concludes. Court will adjourn for the day. The defense cross-examination of Cassie won't happen Wednesday. The jury is being told that they're going home. Cassie said it's impossible to know how many sex parties there were. When a prosecutor asked Cassie how many freak-offs she participated in, she said, quote, impossible to know. Hundreds, end of quote. Asked if she's involved in any if she's been involved in any since ending her relationship with Combs in 2018, the witness said, quote, no, end of quote. Cassie says she settled her 2023 lawsuit against Combs for $20 million. Cassie testified that she settled her 2023 lawsuit against Combs for $20 million. The lawsuit filed in November of 2023 was resolved the next day. Cassie sued Combs, alleging years of rape and abuse. Asked why she was testifying at Combs' criminal trial, she said, quote, I can't carry this anymore. I can't carry the shame, the guilt, end of quote. Rehab and trauma therapy. Cassie testified that her life reached a climactic moment in early 2023 when she had, quote, horrible flashbacks, end of quote, as she was shooting a music video. She said she later told her husband at home that, quote, you can do this without me. You don't need me here anymore, end of quote. She said she couldn't take the pain anymore and, quote, tried to walk out of the front door into traffic and my husband would not let me, end of quote. Weeks later, she was undergoing rehab and trauma therapy. Defense attorneys say infidelity will highlight cross-examination. After the jury was sent home for the day, lawyers squabbled over ground rules for the cross-examination of Cassie, which is set to begin at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time on Thursday. Combs' attorney, Mark Agnifilo, said infidelity would be the featured subject of the questioning that he expected to stretch until days end Friday. So they're expected to go all day tomorrow and all day Friday. Quote, we have worn our defense on our sleeves since the first bail hearing. Everybody knows we are going to bring up infidelity and text messages of infidelity, end of quote, Agnifilo said. He noted that both sides in their opening statements referred to the volatile nature of the nearly 11-year relationship between Cassie and Combs. That's all I got. Some of the other salacious things, she said that she developed, I think, sores in her mouth from having to give oral sex so many times that she developed sores in her mouth. Now, as somebody who may have allegedly performed a lot of oral sex, I ain't got no sores in my mouth, but I don't know. I wasn't having, free coughs for 36 or 48 hours and stuff like that. So I don't know. Now, were these sores some type of STD or STIs? Like, was it like the herpes? Was it genital warts? Baby, I don't know. Hey, the Tea Lounge. You say you need to go to the bushes and weep. Listen, I couldn't have. Listen, Cassie, girl, you way stronger than me, because I knew I'm not gonna go through 10 years of that. I don't give a damn. Baby, you could show every video from here from now until Jesus come back. I am not enduring all of that for 10 plus years. I'm not doing it. Nope. Not doing it. Can't do it. Won't do it. Hey, Miss Bazang. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I can't do it. Don't do me, Paul. I'm sure you wouldn't have no swords either, Paul. Don't do me. Y'all see how they be coming for my good throat? Do y'all see how they be coming for my good throat? And I ain't much did nothing. But here they are coming for my good throat. I ain't much did nothing. So that's your update from today's testimony. It is, Xavier. It is. It sounds like you maybe had the herpes or something, or genital warts. And maybe when these sores came, it might have been like a flare up or something. Something that maybe you had to take Valtrex or something for. Baby, I don't know. I don't have these kind of issues. I don't know. But I just cannot imagine. I literally cannot imagine enduring something like this for like 10 years. 10 years. Baby, I'm not enduring it for 10 days, much less 10 hours. You're not finna put your hands on me and abuse me. Baby, I'm not here for it. I heard they broke up. They had been broke up like a couple weeks ago. Like they got together for like a week or two, but they told me Elijah said he wasn't here for it, Xavier, and that they've been broke up for some time. It's just now coming out. Anyway, that's your update on the Diddy situation. But you heard Pinky Tiki, she had to go to rehab for the trauma, and therapy and rehab for the trauma. He's talking about Raheem and Elijah. That's Raheem Shabazz and Elijah Zane. They were a famous gay porn couple who are no longer together. Anyway, in more news, now more than 10,000 Starbucks baristas at 75 U.S. stores have gone on strike since Sunday to protest a new company dress code. A union representing the coffee giant's workers said Wednesday. Starbucks put new limits starting Monday on what baristas can wear under their green aprons. The dress code requires employees at company-operated and licensed stores in the U.S. and Canada to wear a solid black shirt and khaki, blue, or denim bottoms. Under the previous dress code, baristas could wear a broader range of dark colors and patterned shirts. Starbucks said the new rules would make its green apron stand out and create a sense of familiarity for customers as it tries to establish a warmer, more welcoming feeling in the stores. But the Starbucks Workers United, the union that represents workers at the 570 of Starbucks' 10,000 company-owned U.S. stores, said the dress code should be subject to collective bargaining. Let me know how that works out, Starbucks employees. Let me know. I'm here for y'all. Listen, I'm here for y'all. Let me know how it works out. Well, what do you know? What do we have here? People on weight loss drugs regain all the weight they have lost within a year of stopping the medication, analysis is shown. Analysis of 11 studies of older and newer GLP-1 weight loss drugs by the University of Oxford find that patients typically lost 8 kilograms on weight loss drugs, but returned to their original weight within 10 months of stopping them. The study presented at the European Congress on Obesity found that even for those taking newer, higher dose weight loss drugs such as Wegovy and Mounjaro, people put weight back on once they stopped treatment, while those taking semaglutide, while those taking Wegovy and Mounjaro lost double the amount of weight compared to people using older drugs. Patients on 9.6 kilograms put on 9.6 kilograms within a year, meaning they could expect to regain all 16 kilograms again in just over 20 months. The researchers studied 6,370 adults in 8 randomized controlled trials and 3 observational studies. Of these, 1,465 patients were taking Wegovy and Mounjaro, higher dose drugs recommended specifically for weight loss. Previous analysis of trials into the efficacy of different diets, not including drugs, but by the same researchers, found that while people also regained weight after stopping diets, the rate of regain was much slower, taking at least 5 years to get back to the weight they were before. What they said is, this is what I always thought it was. You could take the drugs to lose the weight, but please be clear, you're going to be on these drugs perpetually. If you take the drugs, you got to stay on the drugs. If you come off the drugs, the weight is coming back. Lock Queen says she deals with these drugs every day on her job. I don't think anybody's shocked by this. You know what I'm saying? You know, I mean, nobody's shocked by this. Okay, nobody, and I do mean nobody is. This is where, this is where something like this, something like this comes in handy. Okay, where am I at? Oh, yeah, this is where something like that comes in handy. Let me move the banner. Because we're not shocked. We are not shocked. Anyway, green girl, that's while you're on the drugs. Once you get off the drugs, all bets are off. This is a ploy by the pharmaceutical companies to keep you paying those high prices. Those high ass prices. Okay? They want to get you hooked on it. So you could keep paying all of that money for the rest of your natural born life. Here we are. Oh God. This whole Halle Bailey DDG saga makes my ass itch. Now, Halle Bailey was granted a restraining order on DDG, for those people stuck under a rock, after filing a laundry list of abusive allegations against him on Monday. DDG basically said he don't care. On Tuesday, he said he was, quote, chilling, end of quote, and vowed to still hop on his daily Twitch channel, even though she filed for the emergency restraining order. She accused him of being physically abusive to her. She says he chipped her tooth on a steering wheel during an altercation. She says that he broke her Ring camera and even broke her phone, and accused her of cheating. According to the court documents from the restraining order, he also sent her antagonizing text messages on Mother's Day after social media posts implied she had went somewhere with their son or something like that. Baby, I'm not saying I don't care. I really don't. I'm not saying that. But the way that everybody and their mama is covering this story, I'm exhausted. I'm at the stage of exhaustion. Now, after the news spread and everybody started to talk about it, Soulja Boy decided that he was going to enter the group chat and posted on social media, quote, "You a bitch ass nigga for putting your hands on Halle. Little nigga, DDG, if I catch you, I'm beating the fuck out you." End of quote. And that's what Soulja Boy said. Now, I don't know, Soulja Boy, you've already proven to us in years past that you can't beat your way out of a wet paper bag. Sir, nobody's fearful of you, okay? Don't you got to be worried about paying that woman millions of dollars for when you beat on that woman? And far be it for you to have an issue with anybody being accused of domestic violence. Didn't you beat Teddy Riley's daughter? Didn't you beat that other girl who's suing you for all that money? Don't you owe her like $4 or $5 million? Child, I don't have it to do. I just don't. I just really don't. It's really rich, Soulja Boy, for you to be threatening to whoop somebody's ass for them being accused of domestic violence when you have whole court adjudications against you about the same thing. Sir, suck my ass and die, Soulja Boy. In more news from Halle, I told you this shit is exhausting. I just don't have the energy. Another past president of the IFFB, the International Federation of Fuckboys, Deshae Frost, he decided that he would enter the group chat because he ain't got nothing to do. He said, quote, "Why is she coming out right now with all this shit? If that shit in January, why she ain't do that shit in January? You can't prove that that this nigga is a bad father, or you can't prove that he's not trying to co-parent or do anything. So you've got to pull this card. It's just weird, bro." End of quote, he said. Now, he went on with his conspiracy theories, saying that Halle is in the Illuminati and accusing her of being physically violent toward him. I do not have the energy. I do not. I don't. I don't. I don't. I do not. I mean, this is another past president of the IFFB, the International Federation of Fuckboys. Right, crazy old body girl. A bitch just came. We got to go on. Now, you see that outfit that young man has on right there. You see that outfit? Well, uh, uh, um, let me tell you about this outfit because this is something that should be, it really be shit we ain't asked for. This is another episode of shit we ain't asked for. So apparently, the restaurant chain Arby's has launched what they're calling the 13-hour drip fit, which is a limited edition outfit made with napkins, and that's what this young man has on. Let me give you a closer look at it. That's the outfit right there. Now, they say it's designed in collaboration with a creative collective chain. The shirt and short set is made to help keep your clothes clean while enjoying Arby's new lineup of slow smoked barbecue sandwiches. The red stripe set drops alongside Arby's quarter-pound brisket sandwich and quarter-pound pulled pork sandwich, both part of a new collaboration with Anthony Anderson and Cedric the Entertainer's AC Barbecue. The brisket is smoked for 13 hours and the pulled pork for 6 hours, offering a more traditional barbecue experience than what's usually found at fast food chains. Quote, the 13-hour drip fit is fashion that says you came hungry. It's made from napkins, so it's fun but still functional. End of quote. And that's according to Arby's chief marketing officer, Jeff Barker. Cedric the Entertainer and Anthony Anderson chimed in saying, quote, we're excited to bring this collaboration to life with Arby's. The outfit is just one more way to enjoy barbecue without worrying about the mess. End of quote. If you want it, you can find it at 13hourdripfit.com. Let me put that in the chat for those of you who may want to. I know Xavier is going to go out and purchase it. So let me put that in the chat for Xavier. There you go, Xavier. In case you want to go buy it. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I'm sure y'all go rush out and buy it. I don't know what y'all want from me. Moving on. Anthony Edwards, remember he was the one that said, fuck this, I'm not giving you monthly child support. I'm finna pay for all 18 months up front. Remember that? Another past president of the IFFB, the International Federation of Fuckboys. That'd be Anthony Edwards, who you see there, right? Just days after he and his legal team accused his baby mama, Aisha Howard, of intentionally getting pregnant, newly surfaced text messages are calling his version of the events into question. In one text message, Aisha Howard allegedly asked, quote, y'all don't like condoms? End of quote. That's what she asked to Anthony Edwards, to which he responded, quote, I do, but not those ones, end of quote. She then replies, okay, well, just don't be wilding, slanging it everywhere. I'd be lying if I said the condom didn't throw me off or that I didn't want you. But I'm hoping you have some discipline with your lifestyle and all. I fuck with you, so I let it happen. But I was being serious when I said I don't deal with anyone. End of quote. He responded with, quote, I ain't fuck nobody raw. I got you. End of quote. Girl, I can't. Now, she put this text message chain out in order to verify that she wasn't, quote, trying to trap him. Girl, why are we here? Why are we here? and you felt it. Even if I buy you weren't trying to trap him, you literally believed him. He's a star NBA player, dipping his spoon into sugar bowls up and down the fruited plains from sea to shining sea, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters. Girl, I can't with these two. Y'all deserve each other. Go with God. I don't even have the time because I got to get y'all over to Really Be. Because normally I would spend my time today dog walking this man. I really would. But I don't have that type of time. And so, because I got to get y'all over to Really Be. So I got to lightly touch on this situation and not really give it the attention that it needs. And you better be glad, Snoop Dogg, that I don't have time to give you the attention that you need today and dog walk you. I hope my sis covers this story and dog walks you for me. I really hope Really Be covers this story so she could dog walk you for me. Because if I could, I would dog walk you. Snoop Dogg is speaking out about the backlash he received earlier this year for DJing at the Crypto Ball during Donald Trump's inauguration weekend. And he's not here to explain himself. During his appearance on the Breakfast Club, he addressed the controversy surrounding his 30-minute performance at the event, making it clear that his long-standing legacy speaks louder than any single gig. Quote, I DJ'd at the Crypto Ball for what, 30 minutes, made a whole bunch of money, made a lot of relationships to help the inner city and teach financial literacy. That's 30 minutes. I've been doing great things for the community for 30 years. So which one is it? 30 for 30? End of quote. He was trying to emphasize that his participation wasn't political. He said, quote, I don't represent the Republican Party. I don't represent the Democratic Party. I represent the gangster party, period. End of quote. Sir, go play in traffic. Just go play in traffic for me at this point. Sir, go play in traffic. I have nothing for you, sir. Eat my ass and die slowly. Sir, go with God. Like I said, I don't have the time to drag you like I want to. Tory Lanez is in the news. That's the man right there that everybody seems to be applauding, because that's the man on the right who stabbed him 14 times and caused his lungs to collapse. His name is Santino Casio, and he's a violent inmate. Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. He's already serving time. Uh 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 um uh 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 for violent crimes. Moving on. In more news from Tory Lanez, Kelsey Harris's bodyguard, a man by the name of Bradley James, is alleging that she was the one who shot Megan Z back in 2020, not Tory Lanez. Now, Tory Lanez's legal team shared the allegations during a press conference today while continuing to proclaim his innocence. A jury has already found this man guilty back in 2022, excuse me. Nevertheless, Caesar McDowell, Unite the People CEO and co-founder, said, quote, we think it's time. Enough is enough. It's time to bring the brother home. End of quote. From their attorney, Walter Roberts, took over the podium. He said, quote, Harris fired at Megan the Stallion 3 times. Mr. Peterson grabbed her gun and knocked it down, and the gun fired 2 more times. In essence, Mr. Peterson never shot anybody, never even touched the gun. He never fired the gun. This statement aligns with the statement of the only non-party witness to the case, Mr. Sean Kelly, who at the trial testified he saw two women fighting. There were 3 potential suspects in the car that night, and yet the only DNA sample was taken of Mr. Peterson, even though unknown DNA was found on the gun. End of quote. We don't care. Where was this guy during the trial? Y'all got all this shit to say. Where the fuck was he back in the year of our Lord 2022 when there was a whole fucking trial happening? Girl, I don't have this type of energy. I don't care. Rot in jail, okay? You got bigger fish to fry. Y'all need to be going on over there trying to get him some medical attention, because he got whole collapsed ass lungs. He over there getting stabbed. Y'all need to have him on solitary confinement or witness protection. He over there getting stabbed, probably running his mouth. Shout out to Run Your Mouth. He over there running his mouth, getting stabbed and shit. Y'all over here with this fuck shit. We don't give a damn. Sir, take your Lucky Charms ass, do your time and leave us the fuck alone. So, I know he wasn't a witness, because I thought they said they couldn't find him. We don't care at this point. Right. Y'all need to be concerned about him bleeding out. Thank you, Harold. We don't give a damn. Take your Lucky Charms ass over there, get your stitches, try to get your lungs back inflated, and lay your ass the fuck down somewhere and leave us the fuck alone. Because your short leprechaun having ass is getting on our nerves. Frosted Lucky Charms, they're magically delicious. Go leave us the fuck alone. Sir, go the fuck with God and leave us the fuck out of it. Just don't have this type of time. God. Lord. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all today. Right. You need to be at ICU leaving us alone. Girl. That is the dossier for today, y'all. Listen. We'll be back tomorrow for another edition of Run Your Mouth. I'm about to send y'all over to Really Be. Don't go over there and talk about I made y'all late for class, okay? Do not go over there talk about I made y'all late for class. As I always say, I love you. I love on y'all. Thank you all for being vocal, present, and active. Thank you for doing what you do. Thank you for any and all contributions that you make to the channel. They are much obliged and much appreciated. You can feel free to donate to the platform here, using this QR code if you so choose. Anyway, I'm going to send y'all over to Really Be. I'm so glad y'all enjoyed y'allself, and we'll be back tomorrow. Until then, and until next time, thank y'all for coming. Y'all drive safely. I'm out. Look at Paul. Look at Paul. Now look at here. Look at Paul.